Well, today is January 30th, and we've come to downtown Pensacola. Pensacola is a very old city, and it was originally founded by the Spanish, I think in around the 1620s. And then it gets taken over by the British, and then back to the Spanish. Any event, we are in Veterans Memorial Park. And it's right on the edge of a historical district. There's lots of cool statues, and there's actually a replica of the Vietnam Veterans Wall that I'm coming to. So we're right on the coast, and we're just going to walk around and look at some stuff, okay? So this is a World War II monument, and they got some really cool statues. And then you have I don't know what you would call them, but they're memorials to certain battles, like Tarawa. Tarawa is a small island in the Pacific. Guadalcanal, Battle of Midway, Battle of Coral Sea, Bataan, Pearl Harbor. And then we have the clock tower, and there's Korea over there. And I've already mentioned about the Vietnam Wall. It's a replica of it. So they built this in '92.
No, I got it. You take the picture.
So there's a Marine Aviation Memorial Tower. And then we have this one right here. I'm going to go up there and find out what it is. Could be World War I, I'm not sure. So this is a monument to World War I. To the soldiers that died here in Pensacola. So now we're here on the edge, and we've got some really cool scenery in the distance, and we're going to go over there and see what that is. So this is a memorial to lost children, and let me get a closer look. It explains about the hands protecting the child, and you have the baby looking at its mother, whose love and protection it adores. It's called The Sanctuary, and Sam Nettles was the artist. So somewhere, I don't know, about 3 years ago, I think it was, we met Lee. Yeah, we met Lee and his wife Chris somewhere. I don't think it was there, because it was a brown building, But we had a little snack and a beer and talked, and we had a good time. And we haven't been back to this side of Pensacola since then. So on the 12th, we'll be going across that bridge and going over to Fort Walton Beach, see Ed and Linda. Okay, this is a very nice park. So this cemetery is a state park, and it's one of the oldest in the state of Florida. It was established by the Spanish who founded Pensacola in 1750. So I was off a little bit. But there's this little knoll that I'm looking at, and that was consecrated by the Catholic Church for their priests and nuns, and I'm going to walk up there. Plus, this was also a colonial road to the cemetery. The British come and defeat the Spanish in the 1760s. So the Spanish aren't here very long. 1768, I think, was the date. And then during the American Revolution against the British, the Spanish once again come and attack the British and take it away. And so the Spanish general that did that is a local hero. In fact, he was honored by General Washington. So the original people that were buried here, Spanish soldiers and such, were not marked. And if they were, it was with wood, because there is no stone in this area. All the stone that you see has been brought in from somewhere else. So it's very interesting that you have these families, you know, they have a plot, and so let's see what I will go to some of these plots and read. So here, let's take the one that's got the Celtic cross. That's very interesting. Reverend Robert Fullerton, born in Ireland, January 23rd, 1853, ordained priest March 17th, 1878, died in 1926. He was pastor of St. Michael's Church. So, now we know why we have the Celtic cross there. So let's go look at this mausoleum here. There's two. We have Grant Wheeler. Let me just read some of these names here. We have Grant Wheeler, William L. Grant, born in New Orleans, November 7, 1862, died at Pensacola, Florida, 1900, December 2nd. Then we have Lillian Grant, wife of W.M.H. Pleasance, born in New Orleans, died in Pensacola, 1927. Now let's go over here. We have Olympia Grass, wife of Alexander Grant, born New Orleans, died Pensacola, 1872. She was only 42. Then we have Marie Theresa, daughter of Alexander and Olympie Grant, born in New Orleans. So evidently the Grants came from New Orleans. Okay. So let's look here. Born in Spain, died in Marabella, age 76. A wife, can't read it. Juan de Pradia. What's it say? He left a son and wife to mourn. So here's one of Stephen J. Harvey, born in Cork, Ireland, December 26, 1872, died in Milton, Florida, August 25, 1915. He was a friend to all who knew him. Now, that's a single stone. Here we have the Wrights. Okay? George W. Wright, February 1839, died in March 3rd, 1918. Val H. Wright, February 14th, 1866. So now, wouldn't you know, Alwyn Wright. So these obviously were English. Anyway, very interesting. I love old cemeteries. And, ooh, look at this thing over here. That is quite a monument. Daniel Sullivan, born in, let me get closer, Nenagh, Ireland, July 18th, 1833, and he died in Pensacola, 1884. Now, that must have been a pretty wealthy Irishman. Okay, so we're going to get back in the truck and look at some other stuff, okay? Poor Georgie, she's got diarrhea. We're trying to think what she ate. So this is a Saturday, February 8th. We've come to my favorite bar and grill called the Sunset Grill. And I always come in here and I have a Yuengling draft beer. And so it's got a spectacular view. You're right on the water. I'll show you that in a little bit. And then you see there is Perdido Key out there in the distance. You see some of those high-rises on the water. So we're going to go inside and have a beer, maybe a hors d'oeuvre or two, and I'll show you the rest of this place. It's great. Getting some clouds coming in. We may get a little moisture. So we made it inside, and they're very dog friendly here, and we just sit here and have a great nice time and enjoy the view. So there's inside dining, there's outside dining, and you see, and it's reasonable. Draft beer is $3.50. Well, we had some popcorn shrimp and some hush puppies. That's the carnage right there.
Okay.
And,
Oh, George, you eating?
you know, Americans. Look at that, the plastic glass. Anyway, it was good. They had popcorn shrimp.
Is that good?
It was really good stuff. And then you got a nice view. It's about 63 degrees here.
It's warmed up.
Yesterday the high was 52. Anyway, we are going to pay the bill and then go back to the campground. What are you doing, Georgie? Huh? I like this place.